presiding also, the distinguished member of the House of Representatives, I'm Roland Alfred Giddens, Minister of Public Works, and I have with me here the Deputy Administration Samuel Donna, and also the Assistant Minister for Planning and Programming, Ryan Billington. Thank you.
Next. Honorable Presiding, Honorable Deputy Presiding, Member of this Honorable House of Representatives, my name is Dr. Emmanuel Ure Yapawulu. I'm serving as the Executive Director for the Environmental Protection Agency. I'm here with my Chief Technical Advisor, Mr. Ben Kamu. Thank you very much.
Again, we'd like to say, welcome Mr. Minister along with Mr. Executive Director and one of the team. We say welcome to the Honorable House of Representatives. Feel free to have these exchanges. Thank you so much. Signing out, please administer the oath.
Excuse me, sir. Yeah, could you please rise, witnesses? Please, approach me. Come closer. Could you please raise your right hand? Place your left hand on the thigh. After or your knee. Position of the wood is called. I,
Roland Lafayette Giddens, Minister of Public Works,
do solemnly swear
that
the testimony I'm about to give as it relates to this hearing will be the truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. Put your hand will be up after kissing the Bible. Drop it. Honorable Speaker, Presiding Officer, Honorable ladies and gentlemen of the Honorable House of Representatives, I am done, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Minister, please have a seat. Chief Clerk, you will read the communication. I think we have two communications. One was Honorable Smoke Rubber, then another was from Honorable Eugene Colley, inviting public works. Another one was inviting public works to EPA. So please read all the communication and proceed.
John 3, 2024. Honorable Councillor J. Funati Speaker, Honorable House of Representatives of the Legislature, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Reference: request the appearance of the Minister of Public Works before plenary. Dear Honorable Speaker, I present compliments, Honorable Speaker and distinguished colleagues, and request the Honorable Speaker J. Funati at this August body to formally invite the Minister of Public Works of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Roland Lafayette Giddens, to appear before this Honorable House of Representatives to address concerns about the U.S. I present compliments, Honorable Speaker, Honorable distinguished colleagues, and request the Honorable Speaker, J. Funati Kofa, in this August body, to formally invite the Minister of Public Works of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Lafayette Giddings, to appear before the Honorable House of Representatives to address concerns about the U.S. $22.4 million loan contract awarded by the Ministry of Public Works to some construction companies, including Chico, Seco, and other institutions without the approval of the legislature. It has come to my attention that the Ministry of Public Works awarded these contracts without seeking approval from the legislature as required by the Public Financial Management Act. Public Financial Management and the Procurement and Concession Commission laws of the Republic of Liberia, which state among other requirements that funding should be available before the awarding of contracts by any government institution. I am deeply concerned about the minister not following due diligence in the awarding of such a significant amount of public funds. Hence, any violation of such process must be thoroughly investigated. Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I look forward to the prompt appearance of the Minister of Public Works to address these national concerns in the soonest possible time. The sentiments of my highest esteem, sincerely yours, Honorable Eugene J. M. Colley, Representative Elected District 5 of Council. Madam Mildred NSAO Chief Clerk, House of Representatives, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Subject, as indicated below. Dear Madam Sayers, I extend my compliments. I beg the indulgence of plenary to kindly invite the Environmental Protection Agency and the Ministry of Public Works to appear before plenary on Thursday, 6 to provide reasons for allowing several construction works in the alleyways and waterways without any proper drainage system. As a result, this has led to severe flooding in communities across District 3, Montserrat County, especially Omega OT community, thus leaving people homeless and kids getting drowned. What is more interesting is that people claim that they have legitimate rights to build in those areas with the full knowledge of the EPA and Public Works. Thanks for your usual cooperation. Sincerely, Honorable Sumo Kali Mola. Predicated upon these communications, we invited the guest before us in our area. Room 14. June 12, 2024. Honorable Minister of Public Works and Blood Development, District, Monrovia, Liberia. Dear Honorable Minister, I present compliments and right by the budget of the Honorable House of Representatives in section to invite you to this plenary on Thursday, June 2024 at 12 noon. Mr. Minister, the invite is predicated on issues raised in the communication under the signature of Eugene J. M. Colley, Representative Elected District 5 of County. He highlighted the need for your ministry to address concerns of U.S. $4 billion loan contracts awarded by an entity to some construction companies, including Chico, Seco, and others, without the approval of the legislature as required by the Public Financial Management Act and that of the Public Procurement and Concession Law of the Republic of Liberia. Please see copy of communication file. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your careful attention. Communication to the EPA. Dear Honorable Executive Writer, I present compliments and write my writing from the Honorable House of Representatives to reschedule your appearance before this plenary on Tuesday, November 18, 2024 at 11 a.m. Honorable Executive Director, call for appearance is printed by communication from Honorable Solo Colin Mahova, representative Director Golden Free, Mansorado County, seeking reasonable reasons for allowing several construction work done or being done in islands and waterways without any proper release system. These improper construction activities, according to his company, have led to severe flooding in the activities according to his company, have led to severe flooding in the communities across the country, especially the Omega Oilfield, leaving people homeless and worst of all, the drowning of kids. Please see attached. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, Honorable Ladies and Gentlemen, that's a reading of the communications that prompted the invite to the members of the executive currently before us.
The witnesses have been placed on oath. The communications are from whom? From Sumo and me. Okay, we're allowing for next 2 minutes each to summarize the reason for the request for appearance, and then we will listen to the witnesses. This is very unlike Honorable Enda, so we'll take 30 seconds to allow him to settle.
Alright, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, fellow colleagues of the Executive, I can remember it was this month, the 1st of June, this month, I received a letter from the district. There was a call to go and see, there was a flood that had 2 kids drowned, and we went there that night to do some investigation. And we gathered there, I have the picture of the flooded area. And it was so difficult and pathetic to see 2 kids lying dead because of the heavy rain. If you can just imagine, the rain is an hour rain. So what about 2 hours or a day rain? It would be so pathetic. So what I thought to do was to go and do my own investigation with the community. We went in and we saw that the area constructed by Chico, the road, the Coconut Factory Road, there were drainages along the road. They have been filled up by store owners and other people that resulted to the flood of water from the swamp to that of the community. Because of this, we thought it wise to call the EPA to that of the public work, because during the assessment we were told that most of the building was given permit, they received permit from public work to that of EPA to build, especially even the Omega market in the swamp. So it caused the heavy flow of water back to Omega Ofi. So our thing here is to call you here, request the men of plenary, so that you can better explain to us how can we find a way to mitigate before the heavy rain, because there will be a disaster. Like usually we have two-tech, which is the natural disaster to that of man-made. But man-made is caused by our own negligence. And I feel what is going on in my district is the negligence of us all. So the main here is to tell us way in which we can mitigate the effect or the impact of what is going on in District 3. Thank you.
Thank you. distinguished colleagues.
You remember that?
Yes, let me recognize.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues.
You are protected.
On the 3rd of June, we wrote this Honorable House so that the Minister of Public Works will appear to give account of the $22.4 million used on rehabilitated roads in Liberia, where today, after the rain, we can see that all the roads, in fact, have damaged more than ever before. We had some withdrawal evidences from those from the drug counties that have caused our people not to travel from place to place as usual. It's clear that the PPCC law says when an amount of such is being awarded to contractors, there must be an approval from the Honorable House of Legislature. And we saw that the minister did not do so. So we thought to write this Honorable House so that he will come and give account as to how he used the money. Thank you so much.
We invite the Minister of Public Works to take the podium. Mr. Minister, have you listened? You obviously got the communication for this. So, okay, so gentlemen, we have again invited. Please hold on. Proceed, Mr. Minister.
So, Honorable Speaker, and Honorable Deputy Speaker, and other members of the Honorable House, I've heard the reading of the letter. I received the letter, and I will begin to address what was said about the letter. Honorable House, I'm sure you are aware when the President today, President Walker, got elected, in fact, prior to that, his conversation was that over 18 years, almost every year, vehicles get stopped in the mud across the country in major corridors. And this is something he was passionate about, and to ensure that that does not happen. Then I was asked to be the Minister of Public Works, and I'm here today. And so when he got inaugurated and I was appointed, when I went for confirmation to the Senate, I submitted to them in my plan the approach for us to deal with this situation. We all can agree that when the budget was recalled after he got elected, it took time for the approval. And so we developed a program to intervene and change the way rehabilitation in this corridor would happen. And I'm sure you can agree with me that if the corridor remains unpliable during the rains, it creates hardship for our people in most of these counties. And so our approach was we cannot do rehabilitation the same way we did it in the past. So we introduced something we call the output-based performance contract, which means that the way contractors are asked to do work and pay should be based on output. So that means the performance of the contract will mean that no car should get stuck in any corridor throughout the contracting process. And so we went ahead and started a process when the budget process was on. And we thought that it would make sense to do what we call advanced procurement, which would put us way ahead until the budget is approved. But in the event of that, while we started to do so, we met in cabinet and took a decision that based on the time involved, we have to look into corridors where there are already contractors that are working doing other works, and those contractors can be asked through a negotiated process through sole source
of course, still making sure we have a competitive rate, which we did, to work in this corridor. So I will just briefly name the corridor quickly. And the corridors were Broadway to Bopolu, which is 86 kilometers, Tapeta to Zoeju, which is 150 kilometers, and then also Zoeju to Kawikin, which is 110 kilometers. Buchanan to ITI, which is about 115 kilometers, and then ITI to Green Bay, which is 95 kilometers. People to Barclayville, which is 75 kilometers, and also Salaye to Bonjaman, which is 115 kilometers, Bonjaman to Foya, which is 63 kilometers, and then Foya to Melikoma, which is 16 kilometers. That total 783 kilometers. And so the approach was that we have to work with companies that are working in this corridor. So there were some companies already that works in those corridors, paving road. And so the technical department headed by the Minister for Technical Services set up 5 teams that visited the different corridors to gather information about the condition in this corridor. Honorable House, I submitted to you a document that have 3 components in there. We have the technical details on how we begin this process. We have the procurement details, and we also have all the contracts that were signed by the Minister of Public Works, the Minister of Justice, and the Minister of Finance. So we proceeded with the procurement process. When we got to the end of that process, we wrote to PPCC and submitted a request for single source and provided the justification for that. The PPCC reviewed it and said to us the justification were viable, but they could not proceed until the Ministry of Finance say where the funding will come from. So the PPCC contacted the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance wrote a letter to the PPCC and said that, of course, public works that have been captured in the draft budget submitted to the legislature. However, there was a 112 approval for the operation of the government at the time, and there was an amount in there for the 100-day intervention. So we proceeded with that. The PPCC wrote us back and sent us a no objection to say you can proceed with the procurement process, that is contracting. Upon receiving that communication from the PPCC, we proceeded to the Ministry of Finance and asked the Ministry of Finance in a communication whether there was funding available to finance a portion of the project. Now, I will just say, why is 22 million? The reason is, all these corridors, we did a scope of work that takes up into 2 years. So this contract is not a contract for 2 years, but the scope of work will be 2 years because the rings will not permit us to do all the work in one budget year. So it had to spend over 2 years. I know some of you can remember when we started to implement as a government what we call the medium-term expenditure framework, which will allow, especially for road construction, it's almost impossible for you to do any construction in one fiscal year because of the rain season that comes in almost 6 months. Liberia has about 5,000 plus every year milliliter of rainfall because of the density of our forests. 40% of the forest in West Africa is here. We have more rainfall. And so with that, we proceeded to do this and get the corridor working. So then, the Ministry of Finance informed us through a written communication that there was an amount to proceed with. So when we concluded the contracting, we asked the contractors who were selected on a technical basis. The contractors submitted to us their assessment. So in that document, you will see that there is a competitive analysis done between what we did as our assessment and what the contractor did. And so we came to the middle of the negotiation. In the sector, to do gravel road in terms of road maintenance, the baseline, that is the base of the price, is 28,000 per kilometer. The ceiling is 35. So anywhere between 28,000 to 35,000 is what we charge per kilometer. What we did, because we felt it was single source and we had to show that we wanted to negotiate a good rate, we negotiated the contract on 28,000, which was the flow. So if you divide 22 million by 783 kilometers, you get 28,000. So we did not negotiate above the floor. We didn't go there because we felt it will show that we are being competitive as much as it was single source. So per kilometer was 28,000. When we did that, the Ministry of Finance with us and said to us, they have an amount as an allotment available for us to tap on to begin the work. But then, of course, the budget process was still ongoing. I can remember I also came to the Joint Committee to present our budget. And so with that, the Ministry of Finance asked us to put in a request for what was available. Now, what was available, according to the Ministry of Finance, was 8.9 million for us to start the first section. So Ministry of Finance went ahead and asked us to work for an allotment to the contractors, all the contractors. So as I can speak, as of to date, we have only disbursed 8.9 million to the contractor. We have not spent 22 million. It's not true, that's in the public, that we've spent 22 million. No, we have disbursed 8.9 million. The Ministry of Finance did that. Now, the Ministry of Finance will not disburse any money without a contract being signed. If you look at the document that I sent to you, I signed the contract, sent it to the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Finance approved also, the Ministry of Justice attested, and we kept the contract waiting for the budget to be approved. But because that process was still ongoing, the Ministry of Finance informed us that under the 112, we give you an amount. Now, what the amount was, I was not privy to it until she said, go ahead and make an allotment request for 8.9 million. And we did that. And we did that because we had to get started. Honorable House, I know that the request to the Ministry of Finance was based on Ministry of Finance information to us that money was available, and we requested to get the work started. And today, we all can see that. There are people leaving from Maryland County coming to Monrovia in 12 hours. There are people leaving from Minikoma coming to Monrovia in 4-5 hours. I can say to you that all the corridors, there's all those big cradles and critical spots that we used to encounter during the rain season. It's not existing for now. Until
Mr. Speaker, is not parliamentary procedure. No, but I have to know whether it's a point of order, information inquiry. Okay.
The reason for which the honorable minister came here is not to tell us what the money has done. Yes. It's to tell us processes, because again, when the letter was written, it was not to tell us why you used the 2 million. The person who wrote the letter was clear that it was used inappropriately, or the process of getting it was inappropriate. That's the issue that what I want to bring up.
Okay, order sustained. I was going to wait until the witness finished, then we would mark, because he made references to a series of letters between he and the PPCC. But Vixen, you raise a point of order. We recognize you. Everybody pay attention to you. You talk. You can't disturb the phone. Information on mobility.
And fellow colleagues, I think that based on the documentation that has been presented in this body by the minister before his appearance, when we received this morning, just from a place of it, most of the questions that we asked have been answered. It may be wise for us to take time to review that document and then call the minister back, because 90% of the questions
we will have the time to verify whether those information are correct. Because at the end of the day, the Honorable Police letter has everything to do with the process. And we just taking a glimpse here. Most of the questions are answered in this document. My request to plenary is that, as you can see, anything you ask the minister now, believe me, you will refer to this document. Because they are here. So next year, I would suggest that we postpone this hearing. No. To give us time, listen to me. We are no busy. Give us time. Our job here is to be diligent. To give ourselves chance to make decisions that represent our people. The minister has submitted a communication that is before us that contains references to the question and the purpose for which he has been called. Therefore, I ask that we give ourselves time.
Information sustained. Mr. Minister, your testimony is that no law or procedure, no law or regulation was violated. Is that correct?
Well, it's not my testimony 100%. I do know that the full budget was not passed and we finally concluded the contract. But like I said, what was a portion to be used out of that amount was that which the Ministry of Finance informed us to be under the 112. But I know the budget was not passed and we committed the government with the intent of getting this started because we could not do any partial.
Then you are aware that you cannot commit the government without budgetary appropriation.
Yes.
And no procurement can be approved without budgetary appropriation.
I'm aware.
And you're also aware that anything outside of that process is not violation of law.
I'm aware of the full budget, yes, I do. But like I said, with what the Minister of Finance said to us that under the 112, there was something for the 100 days. So the PPCC
Was it 22 million?
No, it was not because they gave us 8.9. And based on the allotment that finance made to us, it was
The communication to you from finance was in writing.
for the allotment.
Giving approval, yes, that for the way to do this contract.
For the allotment? Yes, they did the allotment to us.
Did they respond to you in writing?
Yes, they did.
Do you have a copy of that?
I'm sure it should be in that. Is it in my office?
Okay, we're going to mark. I'd like to mark some exhibits first, please. So I want to mark that letter from the Ministry of Finance approving this process. I want to mark it as House Exhibit 1. What other document do you have which supports your assertion that this that this process, although somewhat unlawful, was approved by other entities?
So there was a mission to the PPCC.
The PPCC
sent a letter of approval.
I will mark the PPCC letter as House Executive 2. What other documents do you have?
And then when we finalized the contracting process, the Minister of Justice attested to the contract, which by the payers review.
I will mark that attestation of the Minister of Justice. I will mark that attestation of the Minister of Justice as House Exhibit 3. Any additional documents you have?
So, besides all of the technical duties that were done from our side,
No, we're doing procedure. We talk about the procedure. The question is whether the procedure was lawful.
so PPCC letter, that's one, the Minister of Finance letter, that's two, and of course the Minister of Justice and Finance attestation to the contracts. all the contracts.
Okay, because these documents are necessary to continuation of this hearing, you are asked to transmit to the chief clerk no later than Monday, House Exhibit 1, House Exhibit 2, House Exhibit 3, and the chief clerk will schedule you no later than Thursday of next week to come back if you members of the opposition to review these documents and go over your testimony.
Long live the speaker. Long live the speaker. Everybody went out for a session for the money to your house. Long live the speaker.
Okay, I'm going to the witness and not to discharge and document. Okay, so the minister is excused for the purposes of the first letter related to the procedure on the award of contract. We're now going to the second, which is the flood. No. So who will want to take first? You listen to the issue. Are you prepared to address that?
Yes.
You have 2 minutes to submit.
Okay, so Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and other members of the Honorable House, on the issue of the drainage situation, it's complicated, and I can say that all of us have to work together to be able to do this. The construction of roads, of course, started when in full by 2007, 2008. And most of our right-of-way and alleys were then occupied by illegal squatters. So any places where you had drainage system that should be able to take the water from where.
Hold on. You are the one invited the witness, so excuse him, as he is charging. Yeah, but you can't go in the session and decide that you have your personal party. Yeah, you have to take a seat on there's testimony going on. There's testimony going on.
Sit down, man.
Okay, Minister, proceed.
So while it's true there's an engineering complication which could be addressed, but then to be able to empty water into where it should be, there's problem with individuals, businesses constructing on the alley, constructing in the waterway, and also there is this, of course, constant filling of swamps, dry lands, which should not be done, and the swamps usually serve as a reservoir to collect storm drain water. So because of that, we're having this problem. And I can say when we took on the Ministry of Public Works, one of what we try to do is to open up alleys. We started doing that already. Is to begin also calling those who build on the drainages on the sewer system, put them through a process that we have at the Ministry of Public Works, and we begin doing demolition. So even in District 3, the representative on District 3 I wrote a letter and complained about this, which is okay and it's good for us to do so. We will be doing demolition very soon in District 3 for properties that are in the alley and that are on the street water. So I'm just saying that we expect that the Honorable House will support us and don't stop us when we begin to do it, because most of the drainage problem we have, people are building or people have built on the drains and close up the alley, and because of that, the water has nowhere to go. So we have to do demolition. We've already doing some of the survey. We have our planning, now zoning people on the field. We've identified properties, we've marked them. We will be doing demolition in some of the districts and even the entire country. So it's difficult, but we have to make that determination. We have to do it if we have to get rid of the flood. Besides that, climate change is affecting all of the countries. Naturally, we have over 5,000 milliliters of rain every year. But now we could have even more rainfall than what we had before. If we cannot deal with the drainage system, it's a problem. I can give an example quick. The Japanese will be building the Gibraltar Bridge to Freeport. They're redesigning our road and they have to elevate it and build drains that will take the water to where the water should go, because the entire road is submerged under the river corridor. If we have to do demolition, there will be a lot of resettlement. The government doesn't have the money to do so. So they are using the technology to design the road in a way that is elevated to be able to take the rainwater into where it should be. So drainage system is a problem. But demolition will be one of the ways we can solve that. And like I said, we begin some demolition in these places. We are sorry for the death, but there's not much we can do. I was just talking to the EPA boss. We have to work together to stop people from drying the swamp. For example, in the Omega community, there's a property there with all the stoves, the large stoves. That whole place was the swamp and was responsible to as a catchment, absorb the water. It's been dry and people build there. And some of us who build there, including officials, prior officials, and maybe some people in government, in either one of the branches. This is wrong. And we have to stop that. So demolition will be one of the things we'll do. I know there will be complaints coming to you to tell us to stop. I hope you don't do so. But that's what we are. And I'm prepared to do it. All right.
I listen to the minister, quote unquote, frustration.
Honorable Toes, approach the chair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, fellow colleagues. While listening to the Minister of Public Works, Minister Giddens, concerning his frustration over residents building in alleys, for which he believed to be one of the problems are creating flood within our different communities.
in Montserrat and its environs, and the decision to carry on massive demolition. Mr. Minister, this is a country of law, and we are all law-abiding citizens of the Republic of Liberia, including us legislators. So I don't want to believe in my mind that any representative or senator will want to interfere within a legal process that should go on. And I believe in my mind, as a former staff or a former employee of Public Works, as a former employee of Public Works, worked in Public Works 2011-2012, understanding the procedures. Gentlemen, I think it's important that we pay attention to this matter. It's a matter of concern about our people. I think it's important that we pay attention. We have lost lives just in recent days with the flood in Montserrat County. Now we have the Public Works Minister here before us. For some of us whose communities have been affected by these floods, we will appreciate for you to pay keen attention as we address the issue concerning the livelihood of our people. Thank you. So, Mr. Minister, understanding the procedures to demolition, I think it's important, and we will also support you in this process. But what I would like to bring to your attention is, in order to carry on demolition, there are legal processes that lead to that. We will not appreciate the minister today, for which other citizens have gotten permits from the government of Liberia over the past years, permitting them to be within those alley, quote unquote. And today, those issues have created a problem within Montserrat County and other parts of Liberia. So I would like to encourage you so that we can follow the legal processes up to that and have the community engagement in making sure. Next to that issue, it has to do with our drainages. So to the drainages, oh God. Boy, help me.
Information on Thomas.
Gentlemen,
the floor, but he has information. Go ahead.
I'm glad that we have the opportunity with the Minister of Public Works sitting here today to discuss issues as it relates to drainage,
Information.
right, and flood. I have worked at that Ministry of Public Works for several years. There is a history at that ministry that when these issues arise, the only options that minister will perform is that we will do demolition. It looks good on paper, and some of those statements are made under pressure or sentiment. I want to say to you, my information is the Vital route. The major issue on our Vital route is that Seti Brothers and other big Lebanese institutions have built on the drainages, and they have failed for over 10 years to move those buildings. I'm talking about the poor, the wretched people in those smaller districts that are struggling and managing their own homes. There is no drainages in water where they are not dry, and you're talking about demolishing the home. That deal with Seti, that deal with those big entities that are already on the road, that demolish the floor in the top of
thank you.
Yeah, floor on information. You have one minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So the law is the law, and the law will always be the law. Howbeit, as to my knowledge, I'm aware of some fundings that came within Public Works since last year that has to do with drainages. the regulation of drainages and cleaning of drainages in and out of Mosorado. And not just my district, but many other districts within Mosorado. Since last year that money was made available, there were other assessments that were being made into different drainages, and drainages were identified within different corridors of Mosorado County. Since those things went on, we saw mobilization going on, and now we have entered in another rainy season, and that money has been available. So I'm asking you, Mr. Minister, how can we solve these problems? This money is available. Why can't we now have the approach of entering those communities so that we can open those drainages while you go about with your different legal processes that has to do with demolition? Thank you.
No, it just
So, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and other members of the Honorable House, Honorable Fogo, there is a project, of course, you call the Liberia Resilient, Urban Resilient Project, paid for by the World Bank. That project has identified some community in the west face, and their drainage cleaning, and also the improvement of some F drain to concrete drain. So what you have, like the Sonoway, we have some of those corridors also improved to let what Sonoway looks like. So I can give an example. The Oro Junction right before the park, that junction go to Oro, there's a drain there, that's an F drain. We're going to turn that into a concrete drain like Sonoway. So there's several of the projects that will take place in that drain. But the first phase would identify some communities, not all of the communities in Monrovia, because the project can't do all of that. So we're beginning to do that, to change some of the F drain to concrete drain, because the F drain cannot allow the water to flow properly. Yes, I know what you're talking about. The project is being implemented already.
Honorable Tools.